Hello, everybody. My name is Francesco Sofia. I'm from Rome, Italy, and I work for AGEA, that is an organization working in the public sector. My presentation is about data strategy for the EU CAP Italian strategic plan. So let's see the contents. And of course, they are aligned with the assignments, so no surprise. Let's understand the context. The CAP, the CAP, is a common policy for all EU countries. It is managed and funded at European level from the resources of the EU's budget. About 387 billion in funding has been allocated to the CAP for the next period that starts next year. The average annual consistency of CAP funds disbursed in Italy is therefore approximately 5.3 billion euros. AGEA is the coordinating body that supports the Italian Ministry of Agriculture in the implementation of the CAP and mainly deals with harmonizing the activities of regional paying agencies, PAs. Note that regions are autonomous bodies in Italy, and applying centralized cross-checks on regional data. AGEA is also a paying agency for the regions that have not set up their own PA. Each paying agency has its own information system. So in the map, you can see which regions has established the regional paying agency and which not. About data that we manage, data are distributed throughout the AGEA and the PAs, and as a whole, they constitute the IACS, the Integrated Agricultural Control System, under the responsibility of AGEA. AGEA data are geographical information system data, which include aerial and satellite photos, as you can see in the pictures on the right, and information on land use on the whole national territory used by the PA for their checks. National register, like a national debt register, data from external sources, for example, tax registries or technical, and also others. And hopefully, all data from the PAs in a centralized information system. Regional paying agencies data relate to aid application data, alphanumeric and GIS, administrative checks data on applications, alphanumeric and GIS, payments, sanctions, and recoveries data, let's say financial data. What about my use case? Being a public body, we don't have a market or a market share. Our data strategy must contribute to achieving the institutional objectives, even if I know there are a lot of interesting use cases for the enhancement of information assets to other subjects, both private and public, for example, in the form of open data. The new CAP, starting from next year until 2027, shift the focus from compliance towards results and performance. This is important. It's built around 10 objectives linked to common EU goals for social, environmental, and economic sustainability in agriculture and rural areas. So each EU country, each member state, like Italy, must design its own CAP strategic plan where are defined and managed some indicators, context, that is a baseline mainly, output indicators and result indicators, and also impact indicators. The use case is therefore to define a data strategy that supports that realization of the Italian CAP strategic plan, which, being based on the calculation of indicators, will have its strength or weakness in the ability to integrate, analyze, and apply transformations on data coming from the whole national territory, that is from PA's information system. This is the list of objectives numbered from 1 to 9. The 10th is a cross-cutting knowledge. And we observe that are not only strictly agricultural objectives, but also economic, like competitiveness, or environmental and about climate change, for example, or quality food. Some examples of output indicators. So the basic income support for sustainability is measured in number of hectares paid. Small farmers is measured by counting the number of beneficiaries, and examples of result indicators. Environment and climate change, for example, investments for the production of renewable energy, in this case measured in megawatts, or percentage of agricultural area subject to commitments to reduce emissions or to maintain or improve carbon storage. As part of the performance monitoring and evaluation framework, member states should monitor and report annually to the Commission on the progress made. And this information is the basis on which the Commission report the progress towards the achievement of specific objectives over the whole CAP strategic plan period. How we think to manage and govern data. In terms of data governance, the organizational model must be set up. And we think we can choose between two alternative models. One that is centralized, federated, where the PAs send all elementary data to the center, and then AGEA at the center calculates the indicators and sends them to the European Commission. Or decentralized, fully decentralized, where the PAs calculate the indicators regarding their own territory and communicate the aggregated results to the center. AGEA then summarizes the pre-calculated indicators and submits them to the European Commission. The first model is preferable, and for some indicators it is mandatory because it is necessary to apply cross-checks, because having all the data conveyed to an Italian agriculture data lake allows the measurement of whole data quality, for example, for completeness, for example, and not lastly, it allows the activation of different use cases aimed at creating value from data at a national level. So a hybrid and incremental path is perhaps the best one for starting. So we will start with sending in parallel both the pre-calculated indicators and the elementary data that we use to assess their quality. And then at an advanced state of maturity, the latter as the basis for the formal calculation of indicators. Select the right technology. For data integration, today we use data level synchronization solution, but it's very complex and unmanageable. There are hundreds of customized data mappings for HPA. The maintenance of these flows is expensive, and the information systems from the central one and the regional ones are strictly coupled to the point that, for example, a DBMS version change on a PA has an important impact in terms of adaptation of products and mapping. Since the information entities handled by the PAs are of the same type, for example, the farm register or the basic payment application, a project is being developed to create a catalog, standard version business API, made available to the PAs. In this way, the treated entities and the data flows will be standardized, greatly simplifying the data integration and more generally the data management in the central system. A software evaluation is underway to acquire software tools that allow us to do data management, data governance, and data analytics. Currently, Informatica, Erwin Quest, Dataiku, Tableau, and others are the products we are evaluating. Leverage data science and analytics. So data transformation is fundamental for the calculation of the indicators starting from the elementary data transmitted by the PA. Balancing data will be certainly necessary to check any duplicates that EU calls explicitly double counting. Given the heterogeneity of the PA datasets, until standard APIs are published, it may be necessary to align data also. Exploratory data analysis. ADA allows to monitor in a timely fashion, so well before the annual report, any delays in the achievement of the objectives by the PAs, and therefore by the member state. Examining the different dimensions used for the PA, used for aid measures, etc., helps decision making to recover any accumulated delays or significant data quality problems. And last but not least, data visualization can help us share and communicate the situation more easily. Build a data-driven culture. This is tough. Main stakeholders must be involved. PAs are the main providers of transaction data. the data strategy that I want to build for my organization requires the availability of PA's data. So it's essential to share the assumptions and the objectives with them. Otherwise, the entire data strategy could fail due to poor quality or non-timeliness of the data received. To do this, inter-organizational working groups should be set up. Start small and think big. Start with an initial project or limited scope, pilot project, limited scope and duration. For example, the farm register or aid applications for the wine sector. Then test the strategy, review it, and adequately communicate the results and benefits of the strategy at the end. Only with good communication and effective results and benefits for all, a data-driven culture can spread. Next steps. What are the next steps? Establish the inter-organizational work groups that will have to catalog the main information entities, define the data source and the algorithms for calculation of indicators, mapping it to the information entities, then check the existence and availability of information. Maybe it will be necessary to integrate with more farmers' declaration or external databases, implement the new API-based data interoperability system, acquire the software tools that are necessary for data management and analytics and to data quality, and acquire the talents to operate them. Also, this is done. Define a pilot project on the sector, and before starting the project, last but not least, share the data strategy with the management committee of directors of the paying agencies, for example, for receiving the right commitment. Thank you for your attention.